channel, you know that?
That's what counts.
It's
Okay,
fine,
well,
yeah.
we're gonna start now. So, alright, guys, welcome to the final staff meeting. This one's obviously based for the AU time zone staff members, but that's fine. We have diverse amounts of people here, so that's cool. If you guys have been in staff meetings before, you guys know how these are gonna work. Management are gonna say a bit first, and the DAs, and then we're gonna give it to you guys later on. So please.
User has joined your channel.
Keep quiet if you are not muted, alright? And just keep your ears open because A, this is being recorded so everybody else can hear it that's not here. And this information is for you guys. There are a lot of things that need to be brought up that we have witnessed as a team, and these just need to be said. Alright, so we're going to start off first of all on the topic of staffing over role playing. So we have noticed that sets have been, up for a very long time, and that shouldn't be the case at all. We have a huge amount of staff members for the server that it needs to be, and we don't need sits staying up for like a minute, 30 seconds plus. And
user in your channel has
it's getting
timed
to
out.
the point where we as management might even step into the point where if staff members are just not taking sits at all and they're just role playing, they're just shooting, I don't know, their gun at firing range or something, and they're ignoring the sit completely, you're gonna get spoken to, or even worse than that. So that shouldn't be happening at all. You guys are staff members, and you will moderate for a reason, you review
User has joined your channel.
for a reason, you applied for a permanent position for a reason. We did foresee you offered to help us as a staff.
Proceed, you're cutting out.
Alright, that should be better. But yeah, you guys are staff, you guys should be taking the sits needed. You're helping our community members. Okay. That also goes into the fact for game masters as well. You may be a game master and you're a staff member as well. But if you are entertaining the server in a way of a simulation, and you see a set request there for a long time, do take it. Remember, you still are a staff member at the end of the day, so please do take it. Bubbles, you want to add any topics?
Oh yeah. So, what did we go through? We went through staffing over roleplay, staff quest going out for too long. Another one that needs to be mentioned, a little new thing that was brought up quite recently was group mass RDM and intent. So, I know this has been announced on the forums a bit, but I guess this is now the time for us to quickly explain it so that everyone understands what it is. So, group mass RDM, it's essentially the same concept as mass RDM, except when you do ban someone for it, the time is the same as a regular attempted mass RDM. And mass RDM, it's just you add on GMRDM or G attempted mass RDM, whatever the case is, along with their Steam ID that they mass RDM'd with. So say for example, Bob and Billy. You see Bob and Billy Bob, Billy, and James, okay? You see those three go out and mass RDM, okay? You get them all, you bring them to the sit, it's clear that you have clear evidence of them mass RDMing, and it's clear that they did it with malicious intent to mass RDM in a group. You ban the first person with group mass RDM with the two Steam IDs. Say you banned Bob, so then you're going to add the Steam ID of Billy and James. Likewise, if you're going to ban Billy, you're going to put Bob and James, etc., etc. That is simply there, so next time, when we look through their POs, we understand who they mass IDM'd with, so it could be extended the ban time for future reference, for the DAs to go through and update bans if needed. Alright? Does anyone have any questions on that one, real quick, before we move on to any other topics?
Put PTS in chat.
Yeah, put PTS in chat. It is explained in the punishment guidelines. So yeah. No one? Perfect.
Alright. So we're gonna talk about CR training. So it is clear that, you know, for the AU time zone, we're going back on break. And we are getting new players, we are getting more CRs. If trainers are not going after we tell them to with the staff message, that's you admins telling that. If you see that nobody is training these CRs, you should be going there and training them. You have to remember, as much as you might not like training somebody, the training has been cut down so much that you don't have to teach formations, you don't need to teach faces. It's super simple, just reading from the board and just telling them. We also have to remember that these are new players. These were you guys had to go through when you first joined the server, and look at you guys now. Don't you want them to experience it how you did? You know, and make it even different. If your experience was worse, or not good when you first came, make it different. Actually go train them.
I was trained by Jerry 2121.
Alright, well we don't talk about that shit. But yeah, bring them to the community. Show them the right way as staff members. And on that note as well, if people want /train and there's no DAs on, try and find a DA as much as you can, because we want more trainers. You know, you guys might not like training CRs, so we get the players to do it as well. That's why they get /train. Okay? So that's that on CR training. We do want you guys to do it, okay? We don't want new players just standing there getting bored and leaving the server. That decreases our numbers. That's how we're gonna lose the rank. We're at the top for so long, and getting new players is one reason why. Okay, so just remember that. We've got to keep our reputation, guys, and just get new players for the community. Okay, so we're gonna talk about bans as a whole throughout the community. You guys need to be aware that you guys might only be staffing on SSRP, but you're a part of the entire community as a whole. And the whole community meets on the forums on different servers. They come to our server, we go to their server. Okay, and if you guys are getting banned on any part of the community, it's gonna affect your staff rank, your staff reputation. It's gonna diminish if you affect it to be. So if you're going to mess around a dark OP, don't think you're just gonna get away with it. Okay? We may be super admins on just this server, but we're super admins of the community. We speak to all members of the community. Okay? You guys need to remember that, as well as the forums. The SAs are the ones who ban people on the forums. And it's hard for us to ban another staff member on a different server. Right? And if that's you guys, and Dark OP management is banning you guys, it's going to affect you guys. So don't do it. Right? Follow the rules. Follow their format. Follow their ban appeal rules, because their rules are different to ours. We let you, say your opinion on the ban appeals. They make it strictly to the DEA plus, because of the history of people messing around with it. Okay, so be aware of their rules. It's all different. Okay, another thing when banning players, okay, like I said before, when we have a CR leaving the server, it's getting rid of our player count. It's making us look worse and worse, having lower players. Now this is in comparison to banning people. We lose players. Okay, so obviously we ban people because they break rules, and that's like end of the road. That's what we do to get rid of people that are just minging around, maliciously breaking rules. But there are times where we can make them change. VPs, had this experience before. Many of you guys have. We've had players go from being a mingy person to a dedicated member of the community. I've seen it firsthand. People going from a possible permaban player user to a commander. I'm not gonna say who it was, but it's happened. And just try to talk to the players before banning them. Try to understand. Try to help them out. When you're warning them, don't be a dick about it. You know, try to comfort them. Try to support them. They may be the stupidest person ever, but do the best you can as a staff member. Okay. We're known to have really good staff members, and just keep that reputation in mind. Okay. Don't let your attitude come over you. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Another instance that was another moment that was spoken in the last meeting, the only meeting that I called off, was when a super admin was on a different character that nobody knew who he was, and he was asking multiple times of somebody being warned. Nobody replied to him. He asked again, nobody replied. And finally, when they got to their main character, people started responding. They only responded because they knew that a super admin was on. They wanted to be active in the staff chat because a higher rank was on. That shouldn't be the case, guys. You should always be responsive in the staff chat. Work as a team. Communicate with each other, okay? Even if we're not online, we still have our ways to find out if you're doing well or not. We're doing it every single month, every single week, every single day. Okay? Our job as SAs is to look after you guys as a staff team. Okay? So don't think we're not looking over each and every one of you. So I'm telling you we do. Okay, so don't all of a sudden be active because you see one of us on. Okay? Just keep doing your duty as a staff member. And finally, before I pass on to Bubbles once again, is the topic on double admins. So obviously everybody's been talking about it with getting more and more DAs. Okay, and there's a rumor that's going around saying that we have a cap on DAs. That is not true at all. Whoever has said that is absolutely lying, and wherever you heard it from, it's not true at all. We have no cap on any rank at this point in time, and I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any in the foreseeable future. Okay, so if you are, going for that position, don't be held back because you think there's a cap. There isn't. And if you think we're just accepting people because we want more DAs, that's not true either. We accept those who are capable, and I can come from any point in parts of the community from different time zones. Okay, we do have a lot of DAs, that is true. Will we stop getting more DAs because we have a lot? That is not true. Okay, there is no cap on DAs. Bubbles, you can carry
on. Yeah. So I'll just recap on a couple of things that Siege mentioned. Training CRs. Some of you I saw in chat said you didn't have a good experience when training CRs. Put yourself in their situation, change it up. The last thing we want our new community members to, go through is a bad training, because that's the start of them. If they see something bad, they're not going to stay. They're not going to continue to pursue. So change that up for them. Have fun with the CRs. Obviously, don't measure them, but bring them into the community on a good note. Yeah. Another thing, it doesn't happen too often, but one of the 2 times it does happen, it kind of needs to be mentioned. The spectating sits. Now, admins, you guys have the ability to no clip in the sit room. Okay, now that is for you to go through and go to the admin little, places that the mods can't get to. But with that does not mean you guys can no clip when a mod is taking a sit. Okay. You can when you're asked to, or if you've asked for permission to and they let you, but don't go straight up, run in and take over a sit. Okay. If you're asked to, that's completely fine. If you're asked, if a mod's asking for help or another admin's asking for help, by all means go. If someone's just peacefully taking a sit, the last thing the staff member wants, and the person that's with the staff member, is to see some random ass person fly in and take over a sit. Okay, because it's annoying. Doesn't help anyone. Now, with that being said, DAs, they've been specifically told to not run in and take over the SIP, but they are allowed to watch and spectate without asking. Now, the reason for this is because obviously DAs, the senior administrators, they watch over you guys as much as the SAs watch over you guys. Okay, they supervise the staff team in game. So if you do see a DA run in, don't get angry. They're just there to watch and monitor you guys, to see if you guys are doing the right thing, and to guide you if you're not. So look at that one. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, now a recent issue. I'm not going to name any names, but not a lot, but a couple of admins and staff members don't know the difference between an exploit and what's not an exploit. Now, I'll explain it here so that you guys can understand this, so that when it comes to the situation where you are and a situation where you're unsure, hopefully this clears it up for you. Now, there are a couple of exploits at the moment. I'm going to inform you guys for education purposes so that you can relay the information if you see it. Now, this doesn't mean, obviously, if I tell you about it, you're going to go and exploit it. If you do that, there is severe consequences. Okay? Now, one of which could be a permaban and a removal from your staff, depending on, what the severity is. Now, an exploit is an exploit. If you see someone doing it, what we're gonna do as a staff team is we're gonna bring them to the sit. We're gonna explain to them that what they're doing is wrong and that they shouldn't be doing it, and what happens if they continue. If they're straight out doing it, and you see the difference between someone who understands what the exploit is and doesn't. If someone's straight out throwing it after you warn them, by all means, ban them and get a DA to update it. Whatever happens. But we just want to make it clear: the admins, staff, whatnot, do not exploit. You guys are to relay information, to enforce the rules, etc. So if you're an admin right now and you're unsure on some of the rules, go back, look at the staff punishment guidelines, go through all of that stuff, okay? Because the last thing we want is our admins to be uneducated on the rules, okay? So keep a lookout on that.
Channel.
There's another one which is a map exploit.
User has left your
if you
channel.
see people exploiting that, of course, go through the what you need to do to inform them not to do it next time, and the F4, which is the grenade one. Now, the grenade one does show up in logs, okay? If you see someone in-game, if you're in a sim and you see someone spamming it, that could be the ammo on kill, which is a bug, okay? That's not an exploit.
Joined your
But if
channel.
they're going through the F4 menu and equipping it constantly to gain grenades without paying for it, that's another thing, okay? If you see that and you feel like someone's exploiting that, go ahead and run PEs on them. Go ahead and run logs. If you see that they're equipping it constantly, go ahead and warn them, okay? Take the necessary punishment or whatever. Another thing before I pass it on, this is going to be mainly focused towards the admins and moderators a bit, for those looking to progress up and be part of this. Essentially what it is the staff evaluation team, okay? So currently how the staff evaluation team works is we get P admins who wish to join. They come and talk to a DA. What we'll do is we'll invite them to a mega PM in which they will write evals on, okay? Now, admins, T admins, if you are willing to join that, if you're willing to participate, we talk to a DA. They'll explain what needs to happen. I'll explain it here real quick as a quick rundown. If you want to do an evaluation on someone as a T admin, write up an evaluation and send it to a DA. They will then put it in a place, obviously you guys can't see, but they'll take it and use it, okay? If you're a P admin and you want to join, let a DA know. We'll invite you to the Mega PM, and instructions are there for those, okay? There's also a thread in the staff section which explains it more in detail. If you want to take a look at that, if you have any other questions, bring it up towards the end or let one of the DAs know and we'll answer it for you guys. Moderators, of course, if you're looking to go up to T-admin sometime and you get there, this is a little knowledge for then. Just a heads up. If you want to be part of this, let us know and we'll help you out with that. Alright. I think that should be it. Prestige.
There's a little bit more on that. Yeah, regarding that, for you P admins that are in here and are wanting to join the team, don't think of it as, you know, like, if I'm gonna do so many evals, I'm gonna get promoted, or I'm gonna look so good. It's something to show that you're, you know, active. You're wanting the staff team to be better. You are helping us out. This is nothing to get you promoted. It's nothing like that. You shouldn't be thinking like, I'm gonna join because I want to get DA. That's not the reason why we get people into the eval team. Okay. It's like a little step in terms of leadership as a whole. It doesn't mean you're gonna get a promotion. Right? There are different things why people get DA. But enough of that topic. We're gonna move on. So, pretty sure this wasn't explained in this meeting, but it was explained in the previous meetings. We're going to talk about explicit content. So, Speak, forums, the server, all have the community members from different ages, and we all have rules on that for explicit content. You guys are aware of ERP. That kind of correlate, you know, it's kind of the same for TeamSpeak and forums. So if you are making your avatar anything that is explicit or putting in links that are like rated R, 18 plus, in public areas, it's gonna be a problem because you can't, if you're not sure that people are 18 and they're okay with the things that you are sending and showing, it's gonna be a bad look for us. Not only for you, the server, and us as a whole, us as a team. Okay. If you're seeing people do this, take some initiative and report it to a DA plus, an SA plus, preferably. Okay, because that's not okay at all. It could be. Let's use an example that's not what happened at all. This is absolutely made up. So, say you're in a TeamSpeak channel and a person posts a link to an R18 website, right? And there's 12-year-olds, 15-year-old players in there accessing that link. What happens when a parent is in the same room with them? What happens if, they see that on their screen? What happens to their playtime on the server? They could be gone from the server, they could be banned from playing at all. Right? And we don't need that at all. We don't need community members gone from the community because of something small and idiotic as that.
Yeah, just remember your audience and who you're working with.
Exactly. So just be aware of that.
If you're unsure, don't bother.
Racism. Alright, so we shouldn't be having any types of racism in here, guys. Sure, you can have it with a joke if you're doing it with friends, sure, but like we said before, you know, your audience around you, if not too familiar with the people around you and can get easily offended. Okay, just be careful. Alright, oh, this is a big one. Streamers. Okay, so recently, there's been instances where staff members have been mistreating people because they were streaming, because they think they're minging because they're streaming, or they are joining, you know, their little minge squad because they know who they are. That shouldn't be happening at all. You guys are the face of the server. You guys should be holding the rules, okay? And you guys shouldn't be doing that at all. And if somebody is streaming, sure, you're fine to keep keep an eye on it to see if they're, you know, causing any malicious activities on the server, but you shouldn't be treating them any different. Okay, they're still a player, maybe streaming, but they're still a player. You should be treating them in the same way. Okay.
Sorry, can I cut in for a sec, Prestige?
Go ahead, Shed.
So we recently actually had a streamer on roughly in the last 24 hours. I let Kushi know about this and I had Logic relay it to everyone. Logic remembers. With that being said, guys, the streamer was in TeamSpeak and he was hiding in the General 1 channels, and a bunch of staff members went down and started harassing him and making a fool of themselves. That's not okay. As Prestige said, don't follow them around. If you know they're in TeamSpeak, don't chase them. Let them be. If they're doing something wrong and or when speaking to them, treat them nicely, because in the end their video goes online, it's publicity for us. It's easy as pie.
Yeah. Like Shade said, with staff members trying to get in contact with them or talk to them, whatever. The same goes for in-game. Of course, if you see a streamer, if you want to say hi, that's fine, but do not use your staff powers at all in any way, shape, or form to bring them to a sit, for example, and say, hey, hope you like our experience. I just want to say hi, have a good day, and then return them. That's an example. Okay, don't use your staff powers to get to a streamer for one, or anyone at anyone at all. If you want to talk to them, that's fine. Just don't use your staff powers to do that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The final thing I wanted to say, from the list that we had put, I might have mentioned this earlier for some of you that are here, but at the end of this month, I went through every single staff member and had a look at our current staff team. And if you're not too aware, many people, and you guys might have used this excuse as well, leave staff sits to say, I'm just going to let moderators take them because they're moderators and I've had my time to shine as an admin. When the reality is that we actually only have 28 moderators, around that number, and we have over 70 admins. So we should not be using that excuse at all. We have a very low number of moderators. If you can take the sit, take the sit. Okay? Do your job as staff. Right? The core of your job is to take sits. Right? So don't leave it open for so long, because if you can take it, take it. And that's that. Okay? That's all I had to say about that. We don't have a lot of moderators. Take it, admins. Okay. Bubbles, do you have anything to say?
Not really. I mean, common sense, one thing. Use common sense, team. Especially when in sit. Attitude and sit. I think Prestige, you mentioned this once, but don't let your attitude get to you at all in this sit. Try not to be biased when it comes to sit. If your friend broke a rule and it's been reported, don't sugarcoat it. Do what needs to be done. Don't be biased. If that's caught, then obviously things will happen or procedures will be taken, etc. Don't get angry. Don't raise your voice in a sit. Just common sense. Other than that, I don't really have much.
Yeah, I wanted to quickly say before I pass it on to the rest of the team. This is a common thing said by hold on, Shade. This is a common thing said by management or management council currently. If you need to ask us something, anybody, don't poke us saying, "Can I talk to you? Are you free? Are you busy?" If you need to ask us something, just say what you have to ask. Message us, okay? Most of the time you won't be able to ask the roots. If you need to ask the roots something, tell us that you need to ask the root something and tell us what it is. Okay, we shouldn't be coming back to you if you need to ask us something. Okay? So just keep that in mind. But that's all I have at the moment. I'm gonna pass on to VP if you have anything. Rudin, do you have anything?
I'm just here to listen.
Alright.
My meeting was earlier.
Right, sweet as. Maxi, do you have anything to say?
Yes, got something a little bit to say. The thing about Prestige, say something about staff taking sit. Like recently, I see that there's a few sit popped up every sit a mod plus can take, and there's a lot of admin online. But the sit still freaking up there about 30 to 1 minute, almost 1 minute, 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And I have been keeping an eye on a few people, and I saw a few of them role playing overstaffing. So just a reminder, like you want to either like if you don't know how to take the set, please say something in chat that you don't know how to take that set, so you can watch. All right, don't just concentrate on role play because I have been seeing that a lot. I just want to spoke it out. All right, but the essay already knows it. So just a reminder, guys, we don't just keep you admin for no reason. Okay.
Fletch, do you have anything?
Not that hasn't already been said, no.
Okay. Shabe, do you have anything?
Just to back up, which is two examples, which is something Prestige and Bubble went over. The whole attitude towards players. I won't name any people from this, but we had someone that did something absolutely not okay, which was tell the person that they should leave the server because they're gonna get in trouble. I believe Bubbles and Prestige already know that issue. That's not okay. Approaching them, you got to be calm, collective, no matter what they say to you personally. You should not have outbursts like that. And to follow up the sits as well, I've seen sits come up for 30 minutes and they're just sitting there and it's how to bind a key. I don't care what you're doing. I don't have to, as a game master, when I'm doing game master stuff, have to come down and collect it. Yeah, 30 minutes, Flesh, just to bind a key.
Okay.
Yep. It's not fun.
Alright.
Hold on. Sorry.
Go.
This just reminded me when Shade said that. If you feel like someone is, if you can't take the sit, for whatever reason, if you're angry or heated, let someone know in staff chat. Say, hey, I just need to take a break. Can you quickly take my sit? Blah blah blah. Whatever needs to happen. The staff team around you, like, don't be afraid to ask. That's something I went through when I was a wee little moderator, a while back. I was scared to ask, but as soon as I did, people were, happy to answer my question, and help me out. So if you feel like you need someone to help you out, don't be afraid to ask. Okay.
Exactly. And, before we give it to you guys, so you can ask whatever question you want. Whatever question you want, please take in mind what we said, okay? As well as the fact, if you ever want to talk to me and Bubbles, Fletch, Maxi, or Shade, or even VP, he's not always here in AU times, but when he is, just message us, talk to us if you can, poke us if you can. Alright, we're not that scary as you guys might think. Alright, we can chill, right? If you guys want to play other games, that's absolutely fine. Right? We want to know you guys even better, okay? And sometimes if you won't approach us, we'll approach you, okay? We want to know you guys even better as a whole team. But yeah, definitely take in mind what we said. So now, if you guys got any questions for us, type in chat. PTS or something. Can we not like fill up the chat so people can say PTS? We know who they are. This is the time for you guys to ask questions to us because we don't always all come here as a group to talk about things that need to be answered. If you have anything on your mind, please ask now. Okay, thank you, Dawn, for playing a line. Alright, so Beck, go ahead.
Yeah, I probably answer this question myself, but like, what would you prefer? Me to like take a sit as a event character, or let the sit for like a minute? Because I know like some people do yell at people for taking sits as event characters, but
event character.
See, no, it depends who's yelling at you. If it's been up there for over 30 seconds and you see no one else taking it, no one else acknowledging it, I would say go for it. It doesn't matter what character you are. You're still an admin and your job is to help them. But if if you take the sit, personally, if I see this, if I see an event character taking a sit and someone in staff chat saying, "You're an event character, why'd you take the sit?" I'm gonna turn around and be like, "Why didn't you take the sit?" Right? No, that doesn't mean you guys have to say that, but if you see someone else responding in staff chat after, you know, a long staff request has been up, report that to us. If you're the event character, and you see that on for over 30 seconds, take it. If you're in the middle of the event and you're killing people as an event character, that's kind of iffy. But if it's over a minute, you feel like you should take it, take it. But it really depends on the time.
I mean, like we got a sit room, but some people might taking that advantage of during the combat. They almost getting killed as an event character, and they take a sit just a reason to get survive. Like mostly, like I see few people that taking sit as a event character, but they teleport the person to the sit room and handle it, not in the map. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, like
that is a smart move.
Like Grease said, or Tennessee. Say something in chat. If you're the event character, say something in chat. If no one else responds, take it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Hopefully that answers it.
There is not a single SA, HGM, SGM that can tell you not to take a sit. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
If the SGMs are yelling at you because you're taking a sit as an event character, you simply need to remind them that SGM and HGM are not equivalent to the rank of even moderator. Moderator is higher in rank in the hierarchy than even HGM. Staffing always takes precedent.
Okay, thank you.
If you are an event character, though, try to let the non-event characters take it. So just give priority to them, is what they're trying to say. But don't ignore it completely.
Like my perspective at the end of the day, you're still a staff member. Your responsibility is to take sit and help the other people in your community.
Exactly. Okay. Sweet as hopefully that answers your question. Anybody else have any questions or want to say anything to the team that you have experienced to this point? So, your time's now.
A kind of question: if the about the ERB thing that Walker's suggestion is it gonna be like pronounced the adding on the rules book, or it's just like
read Scott's response?
God respond. Yeah, I do read it, but like
that's the final answer.
Yeah, Pancake says he's got to discuss with the council member. I don't know.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know, but like, God, you know what I mean?
If Pancake says he's gonna discuss it with the council members, then that's a question for him. For us, what we say is just look at what Scott said, and that's your answer until something else is discussed.
Yeah. I mean, I have no anything about. I have no arguing or disagree with Scott. It's people's mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kashi, go ahead.
This probably shouldn't have to be said, but like, it apparently does, because it's an issue that I've seen. Is like, as staff, you should just not be breaking even any rules at all. Like even if like you're in a sim room where you can't be seen by anyone, that's no excuse. Like, you should still be following the rules no matter what the situation is, where you are on the ship. Like, I don't know if you've been made aware, but there's a situation in a hangar where people were doing tryouts. I'm not going to name names, but a staff member did commit BBHC. Wasn't arrested for it because it was in a private room, but there was no sim started. Obviously, the admin shouldn't have done what he did because he's obviously breaking rules, but I just thought it needs to be said.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I'll reiterate that a bit. You as staff are not above the law, essentially. Sorry, Maxi. But you are to follow the rules that you enforce, okay? So nobody should be doing what Akashi said. Nobody should be breaking any rules, or bending the rules essentially. But if you as staff see that, don't be afraid to let one of the DA or SA know about that, and we'll discuss it from there. But if you see it, let us know. Obviously, don't let it happen, but.
Sorry to add, when you take sits, guys, do not run in and just punch the person if they're stuck. You have a fizz gun admins, use it, and moderators, you have powers.
Yeah, Maxi, you were saying?
I actually see a few staff members freaking like Minji and such breaking server rules too. Yeah. Interfere, I will interfere, but only even like when only it's cross the line. And as a staff member, try to avoid the arrest from the CG because I see plenty of like staff member get arrested by CG already for legit reason, not even an RDA or anything. They got arrested for right reason, and they still take that as a joke. But like at the end, if you get a free arrest, I will stab warn you. And like you want the staff members should know better about the server rules and how we roleplay ship, not by broken it.
Okay. Anyone else got a PTS? Just type it in chat. Anything at all. Alright. Oh. Okay. Be fair.
Might as well. This isn't my meeting. I just happen to be awake at this time. I just want to bring light to something. About a month ago, I was arrested for breaking Brotherhood code.
User in your channel has
but I
timed
was
out.
arrested for role-playing me and Warthog having a fist fight in a somewhat secluded area because, you know, we were role-playing that we were making fun of each other, and I said, yo, you want to go? And pulled out my fist, and he's like, yeah, let's go, and then we
User
started
has
having
joined your
fun.
channel.
One arrest does not make us a minge. I am not a minge. I technically broke Brotherhood code, which is an in-game rule. But just keep in mind that we are in a roleplay server. If something is being roleplayed out in a good manner, don't like get angry at that person. I still deserved the arrest. Don't get me wrong. The arrest was perfectly valid. But if I'm to look at that guy's arrest and he explains, and I know he was in that situation, I would not punish the guy based off that arrest. Primarily because it was role play. It didn't involve a whole lot of people. It was just me and Warthog, and then a CG happened to walk into the engine room and then just arrest us. That's just the way it played out. So just keep in mind that good role play should be encouraged. If it leads to an arrest, then so be it. That's the punishment. And they're not minging. Oh well. Oh yeah, if you start going around punching everyone unsolicited, then yeah, fucking warn the guy. But there was stuff that led up to it that makes sense in real life. So.
Well, shit happened.
I have a PTS. Sorry, there's a fucking name, man. I forgot.
Okay. What VP mentioned, yes. That kind of leads back to the 3 arrests. Sometimes they can be justified as RP arrests. Before you go ahead and warn them, officially staff warn them, try and get as much detail as you can on the 3 arrests. Go through citations, arrests, whatnot, to get a better understanding of what the arrests actually are. Just a heads up and pointer.
Oh, now I remember. When you guys are banning for ERP, DDoS threats, or just threats in general, make sure you have proof of what they have been doing. The sole reason is you can just ban them, but if we don't have proof of the action, then how did it truly happen? It same goes with saving your logs for like mass RDMs and all that. If they make an appeal, you're gonna need that proof. Next, an issue I did encounter this week. Sorry, I forgot these subjects. They all just popped into my head now. If you guys have been aware, some CTs are telling other people to open fire on other groups, and people have been doing so. Do note though, find out why. Obviously the person fired because he was told to, but find the person who's telling the people to do it. That person's more at fault than anyone else, and you can most likely slap the guy on the wrist. Not the one that was telling, the one that shot by being told by a higher up, or someone higher than them. Please be on the lookout for that. That is happening more and more lately, and it's getting really out of hand.
From my opinion, perspective,
User
the people
has
who
left your
order
channel.
the CT to shooting each other, the people who shooting that let CG handle them. We just need to concentrate the people who give them orders.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, one last one.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sabotaging other staff members. So this is something that I've been dealing with very closely. Some people have been coming with complaints trying to make other staff members look bad. We are a team. If you get measly offended
User
by the
has left your
slightest
channel.
thing and you want to ruin that person's staffing experience, please don't. For the life of me, it's annoying and childish. We're all grown-ups, at least I assume.
Okay. Shed, you reminded me of something, and this is getting quite long now, this meeting, so we're just gonna kind of wrap this up real quick. So, the last thing I'm gonna say before passing on to Akashi for his PTS is that if you guys need an update, please use the resources that we have on the forums of ban updates and things like that. Please contact the DA as soon as you can via any sort of platform so they can update the ban. They shouldn't need to find those bans and you putting it in the bans without time. You know, there's a chance they can miss it. Okay? Please find a DA as best as you can. Right, and as soon as possible. So Akashi, we'll go ahead for your PTS.
Oh, it was just like a quick expansion on what I said earlier. Like, I think it was just in a particular situation, but if someone obviously needs staff help, don't muck around and like use, like, basically taunt the person that needs help with like, oh yeah, I can help you, but I choose not to. But just for like a little joke, even if you're friends with them, like, this is leading on to the same situation that happened earlier that I was mentioning, but like, just do your job as staff. Don't like fuck around with it, basically. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Bird, go ahead. Alright, so Bird's gonna type this one out. Alright, so the question is, can game masters give perms to admins to assist them in buildings? So if there's no game masters, we actually talked about this not too long ago, but if there's no other game masters that are available to help them out, then it is absolutely fine for you to help them out, yeah. If there's no other game masters, of course. Yeah, they can't just say, okay, yeah, you're fine to do it. Always remember as well, you have to ask an essay. That's always stated in the rank rules as well.
Okay.
Right,
User
anybody
has
else
joined your channel.
got any final PTSs before we wrap this up?
User has joined your channel.
And Nemesis, you can You're not GMT first of all. How you can build?
If
It's
you're an
only
admin, if you're an admin and not a game master,
Oh, yeah,
if you get
yeah,
perms from the super admin.
it's for legit reason for the admin to build. Okay, it's for legit reason, not just random stuff.
Okay, I think there's no other PTSs, so bubbles.
Oh no, I don't have anything. But let's wrap this up. So, hopefully that should be it for the staff meeting today. If anyone does have any questions after this, do talk to a DA or an SA, depending on who you want to talk to. All of us can answer your questions. Most of us. Yeah. So that should be it for it, team. Keep up the good work. That should be it. Dawn, you can stop recording.